Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Mikey's back with a review. Alrighty, it's 4:48 in the morning. I need to go to work in about half hour, 40 minutes. But until then, it's time for some chew. I've been chomping at the bit, waiting to try this one, waiting to get over a cold I had. Finally through the worst of it, touch of a cough. I don't care. Time for some Stoker's Wintergreen. Quality, tradition, value. This is a 1 pound bag of Stoker's Wintergreen. And I won't bother you reading Bobby Stoker's story on the back of it. I've read it on a couple of the other reviews. It's the same thing on all the bags. 1 pound bag, like paper lined foil. Has a zip top up top. And in preparation for this, the only other wintergreen chewing tobacco out there I'm aware of is butternut. Or beech nut, not butternut. Butternut is Stoker's other chew. This is beech nut wintergreen. Beech nut wintergreen I have tried in the past. It's one of the earlier ones that I tried. I dug the last little bits out of my freezer, gave it a try in preparation for this, just to remind myself of what that one was like. As far as I know, there's only two wintergreen chewing tobaccos out there, Stoker's and beech nut. The beech nut was subtle flavor, sweet, subtle, very nicely balanced, had some tobacco flavor in there and stuff, just beech nut style. Stoker's, on the other hand, now that I've got it open, suit and tie, I'm sorry, I ripped the bag, it's not nice and neat. Let me trip Suit's OCD. Woo! Jagged edges. Okay, anyway. Oh. I was not expecting this aroma. Smells very wintergreeny. Yeah. There's your money shot in the bag. Very dark. Very moist. True Stoker's fashion. But this has a strong wintergreen aroma. I was not expecting that. I was unsure what I was expecting from Stoker's, but I wasn't expecting this strong of a wintergreen aroma. Let's see what we got here. This is a loose leaf chewing tobacco. Those of you who are not familiar with loose leaf chewing tobacco, loose leaf chew is exactly what that sounds like. You're looking at bits of tobacco leaves, shredded tobacco leaves, or in some cases, whole bits of smaller leaves that have been soaked, drenched, or in this case, multi-pass spray applicated with flavoring. Probably got bits of molasses in there. Who knows what else they put in there, various flavorings to give it a nice, pleasant flavor in the mouth. Nicotine content on loose leaf chew is practically non-existent. You're talking like 1 milligram per gram. Maybe. Sometimes half a milligram per gram, if that. So if you're looking to get a nicotine buzz, do not go to loose leaf chewing tobacco. Okay? This stuff is strictly for flavor enjoyment. And speaking of flavor enjoyment, this stuff is... I bet the farther down the bag I go, the more goopy, the more goopy and moisture it's going to get. Sometimes I've noticed that with Stoker's because if they store upright, gravity comes into play and everything just kind of sinks to the bottom. You kind of reach in the bag and give it a good stir, bring it back out, and that's practically glistening. Yeah, just glistening. All those tobacco leaves, and wow. This is stronger wintergreen than I was expecting. I was expecting sweet, candy-like wintergreen. This has some bite to it. I was not expecting Stoker's wintergreen chewing tobacco to have some bite. Color me surprised. Wow. Wow, I was not expecting this. You have sweet, and yet the sweet is almost being overtaken by the edginess of the wintergreen flavor. This is much stronger than beech nut. Beech nut was, excuse me, a little bit nicotine hiccups. I looked those up. Someone pointed them out to me. There was an article. Nicotine hiccups are a real thing. Or tobacco hiccups. It's a real phenomenon. I'm not the only person who has it happen to him. Who knew? But wintergreen, I was expecting something like beech nut. Mellow wintergreen, sweetness, kind of like candy-like. This is like a wintergreen Altoid. A little bit of sweetness. Wintergreen! Yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting this level of wintergreen flavor. When I can see Bobby Stoker in the lab now when they're putting this stuff together. We should make this a nice mellow sweet flavor like they do everybody else. Nah, screw that. Let's mess with people's heads. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah. Wow. The level of wintergreen flavor in this is still, I'm trying to wrap my head around it right now. This is not, I was expecting a sweet, cloyingly wintergreen flavor. Like, oh wow, it's wintergreen, it's sweet, it's wintergreeny, it's got that molassesy goodness in there. No, this has got molassesy goodness, but the wintergreen level is like, whoop. This stuff's good. Okay, don't get me wrong, this is good. Surprising, but good. I was not expecting this level of wintergreen. I would almost want to say there's a slight bit of wintergreen burn. Just a hint. Just enough wintergreen in there to make you go, ooh, ooh. And yet you still got that molasses base, the tobacco, and everything else in there playing off this strong wintergreen, which is actually quite refreshing, especially at 4:57 a.m. Yeah. I'm awake now. There might not be much nicotine content, but it woke me up. This will give you a lift in the morning. Oh, speaking of lift, a little bit of history for you. In 1863 or 1864, the year wasn't quite remembered right, young man attending Harvard was heading home to visit his parents, who lived in Washington, D.C. He made it to the Jersey City train station. He was late at night. He was looking to get on board a sleeper car, take a nap for the last leg of the trip. A lot of people up on the platform. It was a wooden platform leading right up to the car. The conductor was busy selling tickets. The crowd was pressing in. The man got, bumped up between the crowd and the train car. Well, there's a gap between the platform and the train. He's leaning there. Train car moves. It started moving a couple of feet. And kind of twisted him, and bloop, down he went between the platform and the train. And moving train, legs stuck, he was going to get squished and either severely injured or, more than likely, killed. Someone reached down, grabbed him by the collar, hoisted him back up onto the platform, thus saving him from grave injury or even death. The man looked up at his rescuer, knew him right away. His rescuer was a very famous person at the time, well known. The man who fell over was Robert Lincoln, the son, the eldest son, and only surviving son, or the only son of Abraham Lincoln who survived past adolescence, the President of the United States. That Abraham Lincoln, that oldest son, Robert Lincoln. The man who rescued him, the well-known individual, was an actor, Edwin Booth, the older brother of John Wilkes Booth. So here you have, a year or two before President Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth at a train station in Jersey City at night. The older brother of said assassin rescues the oldest son of the president, soon to be assassinated a year or two later. How's that for a coincidence in history? A Booth saved a Lincoln, and a year or two later, a Booth killed a Lincoln. Strange, but true. Robert Lincoln himself recounted the story a couple of times for magazine articles after his father's death. And it's just one of those weird coincidences in history. Edwin Booth was pretty much shamed and embarrassed from what his brother did after the assassination attempt. He was a well-known actor, very well-known in the Ford Theater scene and stuff like that in the area. People saw his face, they knew who he was. Well, he gave up acting for a while. He just kind of went into hiding, practically, just to avoid the public. He started his own theater company back up some years later and moved a little bit to another town. And continued to live out the rest of his days, disavowing and distancing himself from what his brother did. But yeah, a Booth family member saved a Lincoln family member, just to have a year or two later where a Booth family member killed a Lincoln family member. It's one of those weird things in history. You have to say, nah, that's just a legend. No. Robert Lincoln himself confirmed the story before he died. And he wrote a couple letters about it, talked to a couple of reporters. Well documented. The only thing he can't remember is if it was 1863 or 1864. It was one of those years when he was going back down to visit his parents. But yeah, one of those strange things in history, you kind of go like, what the what? Anyway, back to Wintergreen. Stuff's holding flavor pretty well. Definitely much stronger wintergreen than I was expecting. I was expecting a very mild to mellow wintergreen with some sweetness. Now you have a stronger, edgier wintergreen with some sweetness. And the nice, I'm not getting much tobacco at all, if any. The wintergreen and the sweetness are the stars of the show. But yeah. This is a great way to get your morning started, that's for sure. Yeah. Nicotine content? No. You're not going to get a nicotine buzz off a loose leaf chew. Okay? Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to happen. This is just straight tobacco leaves that have been sprayed and flavored. That's all it is. And this flavor is really good. Much stronger than I thought it would be. Much stronger than I thought it would be. After revisiting Beech Nut, I was expecting something along those lines. Sweet, some wintergreen in there, nothing major, just a nice little bit of flavor. This stuff is like, hello, I'm wintergreen, and you're going to wake up now. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Yeah. If you like wintergreen and you like loose leaf chew, give this stuff a shot. You'll be pleasantly surprised. It has a very nice, edgy wintergreen flavor. I was not expecting this level of wintergreen flavor in this stuff. Pleasantly surprised. Stoker's Wintergreen. As far as I know, it is only available in a 1-pound bag. This has been Stoker's Wintergreen. This is Mikey. If you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Channel members, you get to see this before anybody else does. Right now, I have videos coming out every other day for the next month. Channel members will have access to all of that before anybody else does. If you want to go over to my Patreon page, same thing over there. Channel members at Patreon, you have access to everything long before anybody else on the general YouTube populace gets to see it. Patreon is my fallback measure because YouTube doesn't like tobacco channels. It's only a matter of time before they realize that, hey, we shouldn't let this guy be on our channel. They're going to start doing weird stuff to my channel. So until that day comes, I will continue to do YouTube. When they start to correct down, hopefully by then I will have transferred all of my stuff over to Patreon. And Patreon, it will be my ace in the hole for when that day comes. Unless they start to change their policy, which right now I'm seeing no indication that they will. Suit and Tie recently tried to get remonetized on YouTube. They denied his request. So he's pretty much, Patreon is his main thing right now. He's still doing YouTube, but he's moving most of his content over to a Patreon simply because they allow it. They have no problem with it. And when the day comes when YouTube starts coming at him full bore, he does have a fallback measure. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now too. But until then, channel membership here is a whopping $1.99. So if you want early access to everything, I'm be doing membership lives for paid members about once a month at least. And yeah, if you feel so inclined, I'd appreciate it. Help keep me in review material. Right now, I'm pretty much everything I've reviewed paid for out of pocket. It's a labor of love, mainly tracking how my tastes develop over time. Hope you all have a good morning. Hope you're not up at 5:06 a.m. like I am, because I have to go to work now. Stoker's Wintergreen. Check it out if you like wintergreen and you like loose leaf chew. Till the next time, I'll catch y'all later. This is Mikey. Bye.